Welcome to this episode of
My Wife is a Therapist.
Let's Get Into It.
The following may or may not have happened.
How your friend that got married the other day doing?
Who? Jamario?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doing good, man. He enjoying the married life.
What your wife name again?
His wife? Me, you know.
What you mean you would know?
I can't remember the girl name.
What story is this? You mean to tell me you attend the boy wedding? Your claim is your friend and you would know the man wife name?
Where are we though?
Carlyle, you seriously don't see something wrong with this?
One body, me and he is friend. Me and his wife is not friend. I ain't gonna know she name.
Yeah, but if it's your friend, you show an interest in their lives, at least you would know the man wife name.
No, good. I show interest. I ask how he's doing. I find out how his wife is doing. I find out how their lives are going. And I get a response, and that is good enough for me.
Carlyle, that is not good enough.
It's good enough for me.
That is not how you build and maintain strong relationships.
Look, take this.
What you give me a phone for?
No, Carly, since you want to know we wife name, you Carly and find out. So you're someone who is very selective with even the use of the word friend, right? So what's that about?
I was always like that, you know. When I was in primary school, I used to be that girl who would say, this is not my friend, this is my associate.
In primary school?
In primary school, yeah. I think I went to some youth group or something, and we talked about friendship and what friendship means and whatever. And I just realized that is not a word to just throw around the place. So I used to sit down and think very deeply. Who are my friends? Who are the people that I am comfortable with, that I like, that I really want to, that I know would support me. They have my best interest at heart. They're not just. I used to think about that quite a bit as a child. So I've always been friend conscious.
You used to play when you was a child? Because you saw you spend all your time thinking.
Yeah, I played with my friends.
Oh my. That's a lot of thoughts to have as a child.
Yeah.
Even right now, I don't even have them thoughts because
But I know. I know.
I just use the word friend as.
Everybody is his boyfriend, y'all. Everybody. My friend was telling me, like, your friend? Okay.
Well, for me, because generally, I don't expect too much from people, right? So I don't expect to ask. First of all, I have a problem asking for help. That's an issue.
I never noticed.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I have a problem. I have an issue asking for help. So generally, I meet someone, we get on well together. I don't think twice about putting a label on it because I don't really expect much from the relationship. I will check in with the person will check in on me and stuff like that. So I don't really think to expect much from them. So that's why I don't have a problem using the word. But for you now, I find that you have these massive expectations on people that, at least the people that you call friends.
Yes, and I just think that that's normal. I call you husband, and I expect certain things of you. I don't call everybody.
You ain't got no husbands though.
Exactly. And I wouldn't go around the place. You would never hear me say I got a work husband. It would never happen.
Just walk with yourself though. So
well, now that I'm in a university lecturing and all that, you would never hear me say I got a work husband. It's just a weird thing for me. I think, and this is weird for me, words mean things. And so friendship, friend, when I call you a friend, I expect that, and it's a two-way thing, right? So I am very well aware that there are people who I might consider to be my friend, but they might not consider me to be their friend. What I need, I don't have a problem with that. What I need is for us to be clear, so I know what to expect from you.
This is another strange thing for me. Imagine, so this is what this woman did. She came to university in the UK, and she met some girls, and they were bonding. They formed a group, and then something happened to one of the girls in the group. I don't know if she was sick or something, and then no one knew what was going on. So Kerese messaged in the group after, I guess, everyone found out what was happening, and said we need to be better friends and like start to lay out the foundation of what friendship is and what to expect from each other because we need to do better than that is just so strange to me.
What was that? I can't even remember the story.
Why your friends them get sick?
Because again, I think that, and I guess it's because I am very much aware also that I am in the business of relationship, as we say. Most therapists will tell you that's what we are about. We are about forming relationships and learning how to maintain those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very sensitive to anything that has to do with relationships. So friendships, relationships between parents and their children, relationships between spouses, work relationships. I'm very hyper aware. I'm hyper aware of what happens in those spaces. So so if I find that people calling people their friend and then they're not able to depend on those people, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you out, and the call out is not to say you can't, you don't have a right to do something that I expect you to do if you're a friend. But the call out is let's properly define this. So I'm very much into the let's define the relationship talk.
Okay,
you know,
okay,
so
yeah.
that we know what to expect of each other. I think that this is why people get hurt, because they don't have this conversation. What can I expect of you? So I think most of my friends, I have had this conversation with them, you know, if it wasn't clear. What are we? Are we friends? Are we associates? Are we acquaintances? Are we just getting to know each other? What are we? Where do you see us? So that I know where to place my expectations, and then I also talk about the expectations. What does a friend mean to you? Those are important things for me.
I'm glad you're not my friend.
I was your friend though.
But we never had a conversation like that. That sounds
Because it was clear.
That sounds like a lot of work though.
It is work. That's the point. Don't call me a friend if you're not willing to do the work.
Jeez.
That's just it. It because I put a lot of work into my friendships.
Yeah. But it's still, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you still, even though you've had these conversations, you still end up hurt by your friends, and
Absolutely.
I don't experience that, so I'm thinking I'm in a good position.
You're in a very sad position. because with my hurt comes opportunities for healing, for growth,
but
for
if you get hurt,
self-discovery.
you're not gonna go through healing.
Well, you're healing, you're growing, you ain't doing nothing.
What?
You just
So you're gonna get hurt to grow?
static. No, but I think that with all kinds of love, and the other thing is, I love hard. You would know this. So if with love, with every kind of love comes a risk, and that risk is that you're gonna get hurt, and I hurt my friends sometimes too. It's a two-way stream. It's just like you and I, we don't necessarily insulate ourselves from having difficult conversations or hurtful conversations. We talk about stuff so that if perchance there's hurt, we do then work through those things, the kinks in our relationship, so that we can get stronger and deeper, and because of that approach to friendship, I mean, you know, I've had friends from since I think Olivia. Hey, Livy. Olivia is my oldest friend. Olivia and I went to nursery school together. I mean, we weren't really close. And I always tell the story of when Olivia Olivia went to the washroom at school, and Olivia washed her hand and shakes the water on me. And I never forget it. But Olivia and I have basically grown up together. We went to the same high school. We were in the same class from first all the way up to fifth form. And we're still really good friends today. We don't talk every day. We don't talk every week. But when we catch up, it's like we never left off. And Lauren, Olivia, Alicia, and you were a part of that group of us. I knew you since you're small, but you can't remember me. Can't believe you. But yeah, so because of the way I do think about friendship, you know, my relationships are very meaningful. Akia, Avian, I'm trying not to forget people. And, you know, new friends. I invest a lot in my friendships because I want to see returns.
That's the issue I have. In terms of You see, you expect things back, right? So there are people that I know, I love, right? Some of the names you just called.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issue with, if they call me up and say, I need this, I would give this to them. I'd help them as much as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to expect anything from them in return. Even though, I guess, as you're saying, if you're a friendship, it should be a two-way street. It shouldn't be toxic. But I haven't found that any of the people that I know that I call friends have tried to take advantage of on me. And I'm sure I'm smart enough to recognize if someone's trying to do that. But I literally do not expect anything in return. And I guess that comes in with the thing as well that I have a problem asking for help, right? So generally, I don't expect much from people, even from the ones that are friends. And even though I invest in them, I would check in with people now and then. So I do. I'm not like a recluse, right? I try to maintain some sort of contact. I'll just check in with people and say, "Oh, how are you doing? I'm here for you in a while. Things like that I will do. Good, but I don't try to expect them to return the same favor. And I find when I live like that, I guess I protect myself from too much drama.
Well, I think that word expectation is a funny word because when I say I expect, I mean I expect my friends to be my friends, right? I don't expect that because I give you $200, you gotta give me back $200.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't that. I don't have the sense of my friends are obligated to me. It is more of, if you have committed to doing this, if you've committed to being my friend, then with that comes certain roles, responsibilities, certain tasks that we carry out. It's not like I have this book.
Keeping score.
Keeping score. Alicia, this one, she don't even call me.
I called you 2 times and she called me. Yeah.
It's not like that at all, you know? So I understand very well that people, right now I am so busy. I shout out to all my friends that I haven't checked in with for a little while. But there is that expectation that I think is reasonable, that we have agreed to, that we will stay in touch, that we will check in with each other. I have a new friend, Tamika, who says, you gotta check in with me. We gotta keep this friendship going, and that is our agreement. That's what we have agreed to. So I think it's more, my expectations are based on agreements, whether they are unspoken or spoken agreements. And so I think,
So one thing that I've been blessed with, right, and something that I've thought about, and I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Hopefully my friends out there would hear this and see if we're doing it correctly. But my father...
Now you're going to find out who all your friends are.
Okay.
Who listening.
Even if there's listener.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So when we started this podcast, I just shared it on my Facebook and I didn't share it to anybody. But you went to inbox your friends and say, hey, we started this podcast. Please listen to it and give me a feedback. You see, I wouldn't do that to anyone because I don't expect them to do that because, first of all, podcast is a time investment, right? So I didn't want to feel like I'm burdening them. Oh, please check this out and because everyone's being bombarded with some foreign messages. Everyone's starting a business. So I didn't feel like, I want to bombard my friends them or give them this. If they find it and they listen to it and they give me feedback, it's good.
But you see, with me, friendship is an honor. It's a privilege.
Okay.
You let me start a podcast and intel my friends.
They'll be very upset.
They'll be very upset, Kerese. How could this be happening and you wouldn't even say nothing? You wouldn't even share. This is something big that's happening for you. It's something that you're really excited about. Something that, we these are conversations we have all the time. So how could you not? So for me, it really does come naturally. I am very open and about sharing my life with people that I love and people I trust. So it's just part of that. I'll call my parents and share my life with them. I'll call my siblings and share my life. Certain things I will call certain friends and share, because it's just natural. So it's not an expectation. You have to listen to this, but it's more of an invitation.
Okay.
Hey, this is what's going on with me. If you're interested, take a click. Check it out.
Yeah.
And then, we don't check in with people to find out. You listen.
We're tracking this link that did this person click this link. Anyway, I was going to say just now that I'm hoping that I'm doing this right because I've been blessed by my father's friends, right? So I don't know what he has done. I need to ask him what he's done because he's had some amazing friends that they're blessing me now because of the relationship they've had with my father. And it's just been so wonderful. So I say this, I've said this to a couple of my friends probably not. I don't know if I was throwing a hint, but we were just having a discussion. I said to them like, I wish to have friends like my father's. Like my father has had friends because his friends are helping me out so much in life. For example, you take me to this electrician, and the electrician was like, okay, I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to cost this much. I'll come back and bring the money. He's like, oh yeah, no problem, right? Just because of he knows my father. For example, I came to the UK to do my undergrad. They hadn't met these people. I don't know if they met me. Some of them I hadn't met, right? And because my father's friends, they invited me into their homes. They took care of me and the things like that, which is amazing. So I'd hope that some of my friendship that I'm having now would somehow be able to, like, I guess, go forward into the future as well to bless children. That if I have children, that they'll be a blessing to them as well. Which I find is just so mind blowing that you are such good friends that you just extend that same amount of love and courtesy genuinely without expecting anything in return because of the friendship you've built with someone else, with the person's parent. Yeah,
absolutely. And I have every confidence that I could also go to those same people. They know me. All they know is that I connected to past the Carlyle.
Yeah.
And I would get the same treatment that you get, and in some cases even better. And I think our fathers, my dad as well, they've just passed on really amazing relationships, and I learned how to do friendship by watching my dad. He would always, in fact, there's this book that I read from his Kindle, The Friendship Factor. And it just he's been known to run up his phone bill because he calling people. You know, I grew up seeing him if his friends are in trouble, if they gotta go to get some sort of medical procedure done and they gotta travel. The man is booking his ticket. I don't know where he's getting money from. Yeah. But he does it. And so I try to do the same as well. Because I have also really I have admired the type of relationships that he has been able to have. And I think that it comes from the investments that he's made. So I try to also emulate that in my life. And it's the same thing with me. I have also benefited from being treated very well. In fact, one of the friends paid for my entire undergraduate degree. Just met me once, but because of the relationship that they had with my dad, they were able to they felt like, I'd like to be a part of this. I'd like to be a part of what's happening with Kerese. So yeah, and I think that I'm not investing in these relationships so that my kids could have it. I don't think that's what you're saying either.
I genuinely love these people.
I am crazy about my friends. Something good happens for them and I am so excited. You remember when one of our friends, our first friend to buy a house, we were so...
It felt like it was our house.
It felt like it was... It really did. Yeah. I was ready to roll up on the floor. I was so excited, and she and her husband are doing amazing things. Yeah. And we are so genuinely excited. There's no jealousy. It's just
no comparison.
There's no comparison, and they come to our house, and that's just the way we have chosen. And I think we're able to enjoy that because of the investments we've made. We'll hang out together. It's always over food. So I think that if you want to reap those relationships in future, then you have to be able to invest in them. And I think, this conversation that we referenced earlier, it didn't happen exactly like that, but it was, yes, my husband is very interesting when it comes to friendships, and we often differ. And I think that you try to avoid getting hurt by not having expectations of people, and I am willing to get hurt because I think I have found that the risk is one that I'm willing to take if it means that I am going to gain a really amazing friendship. I've gotten hurt equally. You've had to help me carry some of that as well. But I think that I live a more meaningful existence because of those experiences of hurt and pain, than I would have had I insulated myself from hurt and pain. I've just gotten so much more perspective on life and living and love and trust and what it means to walk with people through dark places. particularly when I needed people
Mm-hmm.
to walk with me through my dark places, and they didn't show up, or they did show up.
And you learned.
And I learned
what to expect.
so much about what to expect, how to do it differently, how to love differently.
Didn't you learn that people need money when it's funerals too?
Hello, listen to me. So my biological father died a few months ago, and man, my friends, my close friends, really showed up and showed down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there was just so much. I made notes of things that I learned, and I think that's really what it is about for me. I'm not trying to do an experiment with my friends, so guys, please. But I do make notes of things that hurt me, not so I could remember that. Oh yes, these people, they wicked and whatever. Most times I don't even remember who did what, right? But I make notes so that I don't repeat these things in my own relationships, and so that I can also call my friends out and say, hey guys, we can do better. You know, and even in our friend circle, we have these conversations all the time about how much effort it takes to maintain friendships. And it doesn't.
One of our friends says she want no more friends. Got so much effort, yeah.
The girl, listen, she said whenever she sees somebody playing Fernie, when I see them playing Fernie, no, I don't have time for that. And it's really, and I really get where she's coming from, because this takes work. You know, I have with some of my friends, and I do try to, as much as possible. I mean, life has changed for us quite a lot in the last few months, but I do try to have these individual friendships with our friends. And you know, so I might have a Tuesday morning conversation with one, or a Friday night movie night, which I haven't had in a little while. And those friendships have nothing to do with you. They are just my friendships with these people, even though in some cases they are mutual friends. But my point is just that it does take a lot of effort. There's a lot of deliberate investment that needs to be made. And I think we need to just acknowledge that it doesn't just happen, and our marriages benefit from those relationships as well. And now for therapy apps.
If you didn't know, my wife is a therapist. I'll ask her to put on her therapist hat and share some pointers with you for how to navigate situations like this that might arise in your relationships.
Today's therapy app is really simple. Fortify your life with good, strong friendships. Alan Loy McGuinness, a psychotherapist, wrote a book called The Friendship Factor. He said this: people with no friends usually have a diminished capacity for sustaining any kind of love. They tend to go through a succession of marriages, be estranged from various family members, and have trouble getting along at work. On the other hand, those who learn to love their friends tend to make long and fulfilling marriages, work well on business teams, and enjoy their children. It's nice to be married to your best friend. I know I've been able to enjoy great depth in my relationship with Carlyle. We love doing life together, and we sincerely like each other's company. But even the best of relationships will have their moments. This is where we need to tap into the power of another's perspective. We lovebirds can often get lost in our partners, so much so that we forget about everybody else in our lives. Invest in your romantic relationships, but be deliberate about cultivating your other relationships as well. Where do you go when your spouse friend is acting crazy and you need perspective? What do you do when you find yourself between a rock and a hard place in your marriage, in your life, at work? Is your spouse the only person you talk to about the stuff of life? Isn't that too heavy a burden for one person to carry? Now, we also have to be careful here. It's still important to get permission from your spouse when sharing particularly sensitive details with others. But if you've not cultivated and nurtured those relationships with your friends, you'll often find yourself feeling alone and isolated because you have nowhere to go. As Sydney Smith said, life is to be fortified by many friendships. to love and be loved is the greatest happiness of existence.
Thank you for those wise words, babe.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it.
If you found this enjoyable, please recommend this podcast to one friend who you know will find it useful. We'd appreciate it. And we'd love to hear from you. So send us an email at mywifeisatherapist@gmail.com.
And remember, my wife is not just a therapist. She is an excellent therapist. Yo, let's repeat it.
Don't repeat nothing. How your friend gonna get